How's it going, guys? Today we're going to be working on a box called MedJet, and we're going to start off with a Rust scan. We're going to use -pn-sc-sv. What stands out to us from this nmap output is the Barracuda server on port 8000. And we also see that anonymous FTP login is enabled on port 321, and we see a couple of more HTTP ports that are open. So we're just going to go ahead and enumerate everything, but we're going to start with FTP and work our way down. So here we see the following directories are available, and we can download all of these directories by using a wget command, and it will download all the directories and the files for us. And it is wget-r-no-parent ftp anonymous:anonymous@medjet.com, and then we put the port number. Now I'm going to use Visual Studio Code in order to analyze all of the folders. The most interesting file that we were able to find was this secrets.yaml file. It contains a API key, a secret key base, and another secret key base. But I'm not too sure what this can be used for yet, so we're going to put that to the side. Now let's move on to SMB. We're going to see if we can do null login with SMB client. And that does not work. Now we're going to try Noom for Linux with the -a option. As you can see, that does not find any useful information. Now let's move on to port 8000, and we are automatically redirected to Barracuda set administrator account page. So it shows that the administrator account has not been set yet, so we can go ahead and try to set an administrator account. It says you have successfully set the administrator account. Alright, so let's click on the About page, and here we see Barracuda Drive 6.5. Let's go ahead and Google this version of Barracuda and see if there are any available exploits. This is an insecure folder permissions exploit, and this is a local privilege escalation, so this will not help us in our situation. We also encountered Barracuda Drive in Proving Grounds Hub, and there we were able to upload some files. So let's go to Web File Server and click on FS, and here we can click on the C drive, and we see that we are able to look at different files here within the C directory. Let's see what users are available on the system. So we see Jiren and the administrator account. So let's try to upload a file here and see if we are able to execute that file. Let's go ahead and generate a MSF Venom payload and name it test.exe. Now we're going to upload that payload. And we see it was successfully uploaded. So now let's start our netcat listener. And now let's do test.exe and see if we're able to execute the command or execute the file, and we were not able to execute the file. all it does is download the file for us. We need to figure out where the web root is located. In the C drive, we see XAMPP is located here. So let's go to Google and where is the web root folder for Barracuda XAMPP. And here we see it's in cxampp apache config httpd.config. Within this file, we see that 45332 is set as the non-default web port. So we need to navigate to this port. The Apache HTTP server is set to listen for incoming connections on port 45332. And this is a non-default port that was changed by the administrator. So let's go ahead and copy this and do medjed, put that in, and this was the same from our nmap scan, and it's some type of quiz. We didn't see any extra directories within the source code, so let's run FergSbuster. We are going to use FergSbuster with RAF large files lowercase.txt. With Windows systems, you can do lowercase word directories since Windows is not case sensitive. And I'll also set the port. Let's go ahead and run that. And right here we see phpinfo.php. So using this phpinfo file, we can figure out where phpinfo.php is within the file directory system, and then try to upload our own file there, and then navigate to that file from the web root. So let's do Control F, and we're going to do phpinfo.php, and this says that phpinfo is located in XAMPP htdocs. So let's go back here, go to XAMPP, we're back on port 8000. Now we're going to navigate to htdocs. And as you can see, the phpinfo.php file is located there. So if we upload a file here, we're going to go back to port 45332 and take away this, and then try to execute our file that we uploaded to that directory. Let's start back up our netcat listener. And then we're going to go over here and test.exe. So the exe file did not work. Let's try to do a PHP file, since this is a PHP file that we're looking at right now. So let's go over to revshells.com. Let's change our Tanzura address. Now we're going to change this to Windows, and we're going to use PHP Ivansec and change this shell to CMD. Now we're going to do subl and then a file name. I'm going to do ivan.php, paste that in there, and as you can see, this is our Tanzura address, and we're going to be listening on 445. Save that, and let's upload that. Ivan.php, upload, start our netcat listener again, Ivan.php, and we have a show. Who am I? And we are that Jiren user that we saw. Let's go ahead and look at our permissions. So who am I /all, and we have SE shutdown privilege, and this will be helpful if we have some type of file that we have write access to, and we can shut down the system and restart it in order to get that executable file to run. So let's go ahead and copy over our prevest scripts. We started our Python 3 HTTP server on port 80. And we're going to use certutil to copy over our script. Now we're going to do PowerShell-EP bypass-C, and then we're going to run the script. And the command that we're running is invoke-prevest check. Here we see our current user's username and password. If this was an Active Directory machine, we would spray this password with other users, but that does not work for this machine. The scan is now finished, and at the bottom we see that there is a service image file permissions. It says hi, so we are going to copy this, and on our keyboard we're going to do Control-Shift-F and Control-V. And here we see the name of the service is BD and BD.exe, and we have write permissions over this directory and this file, so we can go ahead and rewrite this file and paste a reverse shell with the same name, so BD.exe, and then we're going to restart the machine in order to get a shell as system. And if you were paying attention earlier, you will remember that BD file from this exploit.db insecure folder permissions. It says vulnerability description: insecure service file permissions in BD service in real-time logic spherical drive 6.5 allows local low privilege attacker to escalate privileges to admin via replacing the bd.exe file and restarting the computer, where the malicious code will be executed as a local system on the next startup. So let's go ahead and change our directories to cbd, and here we see that bd.exe file. So now all we have to do is replace that file. Let's use that same executable file that we tried to use earlier. Before we rewrite the file, let's rename it as bd.exe.back. As you can see, we've renamed it, and now we will copy over our test.exe file. And we're going to rename it to bd.exe. And it's renamed right there. Now let's start our netcat listener. Now let's do shutdown/R. So I had to start the machine over. For one, I was using Python as my netcat listener, and when I executed the shutdown command, I fat fingered the F key, and I did not use the -R key, so the system did not restart, it only shut down. The -R key restarts the machine, so let's try this again. And now we have a shellback. Let's see who we are. We are NC Authority System. Thanks for watching, guys.